to my channel, Online Biology Tutorials. In today's live, we will be reading Chapter 5, Conservation of Plants and Animals. This is Class 8 Science chapter taken from NCERT. I hope the screen is visible and clear to everybody. In case you are interested in hearing the audio of the first 4 chapters, you can come to the playlist of my channel Audiobook Class 8 Science. There you will find all the chapters that are being done in live till now. So here we go with the reading of Chapter 5, Conservation of Plants and Animals. We saw in Class 7 that Paheli and Bojo had visited the forest along with Professor Ahmed and Tibu. They were eager to share their experiences with their classmates. Other children in the class were also eager to share their experiences, as some of them had visited Bharatpur Sanctuary. Some others had heard about Kaziranga National Park, Lokchao Wildlife Sanctuary, Great Nicobar Biosphere Reserve, and Tiger Reserve, etc. What is the purpose of making national parks, wildlife sanctuaries, and biosphere reserves? 5.1 Deforestation and its causes. A great variety of plants and animals exist on Earth. They are essential for the well being and survival of mankind. Today, a major threat to survival of these organisms is deforestation. We know that deforestation means clearing of forest and using that land for other purposes. Trees in the forest are cut for some of the purposes mentioned below. Procuring land for cultivation, building houses and factories, making furniture, or using wood as fuel. Decide now. Some natural causes of deforestation are forest fires and severe droughts. Activity 5.1. Add more causes of deforestation to your list and classify them into natural and man made. 5.2. Consequences of deforestation. Paheli and Bojo recalled the consequences of deforestation. They remembered that deforestation increases the temperature and population pollution level on the earth. It increases the level of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. Groundwater level also gets lowered. They know that deforestation disturbs the balance in nature. They were told by Professor Ahmed that if cutting of trees continues, rainfall and the fertility of the soil will decrease. Moreover, there will be increased chances of natural calamities such as floods and droughts. How does deforestation reduce rainfall on the one hand and leads to floods on the other? Recall that plants need carbon dioxide for photosynthesis. Fewer trees would mean that less carbon dioxide will be used, resulting in its increased amount in the atmosphere. This will lead to global warming as carbon dioxide traps the heat rays reflected by the earth. The increase in temperature on the earth disturbs the water cycle and may reduce rainfall. This could cause droughts. Deforestation is a major cause which leads to the change in soil properties. Physical properties of the soil get affected by plantation and vegetation. Fewer trees result in more soil erosion. Removal of the top layer of the soil exposes the lower, hard, and rocky layers. This soil has less humus and is less fertile. Gradually, the fertile land gets converted into deserts. It is called desertification. Deforestation also leads to a decrease in the water holding capacity of the soil. The movement of water from the soil surface into the ground infiltration rate is reduced, so there are floods. The other properties of the soil, like nutrient content, texture, etc., also change because of deforestation. We have studied in class 7 that we get many products from forests. List these products. Will we face shortage of these products if we continue cutting trees? Activity 5.2. Animal life is also affected by deforestation. How? List the points and discuss them in your class. 5.3 Conservation of Forest and Wildlife. Having become aware of the effects of deforestation, Paheli and Bojo are worried. They go to Professor Ahmed and ask him how forest and wildlife can be saved. Biosphere is that part of the earth in which living organisms exist or which supports life. Biological diversity or biodiversity refers to the variety of organisms existing on the earth, their interrelationships, and their relationship with the environment. Professor Ahmed organizes a visit to a biosphere reserve for Paheli, Bojo, and their classmates. He selects a place named Panchpari Biosphere Reserve. He knows that the plants and the animals found here are similar to those of the upper Himalayan peaks and to those belonging to the lower Western Ghats. Professor Ahmed believes that the biodiversity found here is unique. He requests Madhavji, a forest employee, to guide the children inside the biosphere reserve. He explains that preserving areas of such biological importance make them a part of our national heritage. Madhavji explains to the children that apart from our personal efforts and efforts of the society, government, first we'll read this block. To protect our flora and fauna and their habitats, protected areas called wildlife sanctuaries, national parks, and biosphere reserves have been earmarked. Plantation, cultivation, grazing, felling trees, hunting, and poaching are prohibited there. Wildlife sanctuaries are the areas where animals are protected from any disturbance to them and their habitat. National park areas reserved for wildlife where they can freely use the habitats and natural resources. Biosphere reserves, large areas of protected land for conservation of wildlife, plant and animal resources, and traditional life of the tribals living in the area. Agencies also take care of the forest and animals. The government lays down rules, methods, and policies to protect and conserve them. Wildlife sanctuaries, national parks, biosphere reserves, etc., are protected areas for conservation of plants and animals present in that area. Activity 5.3. Find out the number of national parks, wildlife sanctuaries, and biosphere reserves in your district, state, and country. Record in Table 5.1. Show these areas in an outline map of your state and India. So here is the table which they were talking about in activity 5.3. We are coming to 5.4 biosphere reserves. Children along with Professor Ahmed and Madhavji entered the biosphere reserve area. Madhavji explains that biosphere reserves are the areas meant for conservation of biodiversity. As you are aware that biodiversity is the variety of plants, animals and microorganisms generally found in an area. The biosphere reserves helps to maintain the biodiversity and culture of that area. A biosphere reserve may also contain other protected areas in it. The Panchmari Biosphere Reserve consists of one national park named Satpura and two wildlife sanctuaries named Pori and Panchmari, which are being shown to you in figure 5.1. Next page. So, activity 5.4, we are reading chapter 5 of class 8 science NCRT. In case you like the audio, please do hit the like button before you leave from this live. Activity 5.4, list the factors disturbing the biodiversity of your area. Some of these factors and human activities may disturb the biodiversity unknowingly. List these human activities. How can these be checked? Discuss in your class and write a brief report in your notebook. 5.5 Flora and Fauna. As the children walk around the biosphere reserve, they appreciate the green wealth of the forest. They are very happy to see tall teak trees and animals inside the forest. Suddenly, Paheli finds a rabbit and wants to catch it. She starts running after it. Professor Ahmed stops her. He explains that animals are comfortable and happy in their own habitat. We shouldn't disturb them. Madhavji explains that some animals and plants typically belong to a particular area. The plants and animals found in a particular area are termed flora and fauna, respectively, of that area. Sal, teak, mango, jamun, silver ferns, arjun, etc. are the flora, and chinkara, blue bull, barking deer, cheetal, leopard, wild dog, wolf, etc. are the examples of the fauna of the Panchmari Biosphere Reserve. Some of the images are shown to you in figure 5.2. A is wild dog, B is cheetal, C is wolf, D is leopard, then fawn, and then the jamun tree. Moving to the next page, we are reading chapter 5 of class 8 science NCRT. So we are right now on activity 5.5. Try to identify the flora and fauna of your area and list them. 5.6 Endemic species. Soon the group quietly enters the deep forest. Children are surprised to see a very big squirrel. This squirrel has a big fluffy tail. They are very curious to know about it. Madhavji tells them that this is known as the giant squirrel and is endemic to this area. Endemic species are those species of plants and animals which are found exclusively in a particular area. They are not naturally found anywhere else. A particular type of animal or plant may be endemic to a zone, a state, or a country. Madhavji shows sal and wild mango, figure 5.3a, are two examples of the endemic flora of the Panchmari Biosphere Reserve. Bison, Indian giant squirrel, and flying squirrel are endemic fauna of this area. Professor Ahmed explains that the destruction of their habitat, increasing population, and introduction of the new species may affect the natural habitat of endemic species and endanger their existence. I have heard that some of the endemic species may vanish. Is it true? Figure 5.3b Giant squirrel. Species is a group of population which are capable of interbreeding. This means that the members of a species can reproduce fertile offspring only with the members of their own species and not with the members of other species. Members of a species have common characteristics. Activity 5.6. Find out the endemic plants and animals of the region where you live. I hope the screen is visible. 5.7 Wildlife Sanctuary. Soon Paheli sees a board with Panchmari Wildlife Sanctuary written on it. Professor Ahmed explains that killing, poaching, or capturing animals in general is strictly prohibited and punishable by law in all such places. Wildlife sanctuaries like reserve forests provide protection and suitable living conditions to wild animals. He also tells them that people living in wildlife sanctuaries are allowed to do certain activities such as grazing by their livestock, collecting medicinal plants, firewood, etc. Some of the threatened wild animals like black buck, white-eyed buck, elephant, golden cat, pink-headed duck, gharial, marsh crocodile, python, rhinoceros, etc. are protected and preserved in our wildlife sanctuaries. Indian sanctuaries have unique landscapes, broad level forest, mountain forest, and bushlands in deltas of big rivers. It is a pity that even protected forests are not safe because people living in the neighborhood encroach upon them and destroy them. Children are reminded of their visit to the zoo. They recall that zoos are also places where animals receive protection. What is the difference between a zoo and a wildlife sanctuary? Activity 5.7. Visit a nearby zoo. Observe the conditions provided to the animals. Were they suitable for the animals? Can animals live in artificial setting instead of their natural habitat? In your opinion, will the animals be comfortable in a zoo or in their natural habitat? 5.8 National Park. On the roadside, there were another board on which was written Satpura National Park. Children are now eager to go there. Madhavji tells them that these reserves are large and diverse enough to protect whole sets of ecosystems. They preserve flora, fauna, landscape, and historic objects of an area. Satpura National Park is the first reserve forest of India. The finest Indian teak is found in this forest. There are more than 100 national parks in India. Rock shelters are also found inside the Satpura National Park. There are evidences of prehistoric human life in these jungles. These give us an idea of the life of primitive people. Rock paintings are found in these shelters. A total of 55 rock shelters have been identified in Panchmari Biosphere Reserve. Figures of animals and men fighting, hunting, dancing, and playing musical instruments are depicted in these paintings. Many tribals still live in the area. The viewers who are connected with me since beginning, I would request you to hit the like button in case you are liking the audio or the pronunciation of the video done throughout. As children move ahead, they see the board with Satpura Tiger Reserve written on it. Madhavji explains the Project Tiger was launched by the government to protect the tigers in the country. The objective of this project was to ensure the survival and maintenance of the tiger population in the country. I hope the complete page is visible to you. Are tigers still found in this forest? I hope I can see a tiger. Tiger figure 5.4 is one of the many species which are slowly disappearing from our forest. But the Satpura Tiger Reserve is unique in the sense that a significant increase in the population of tigers has been seen here. Once upon a time, animals like lions, elephants, wild buffaloes figure 5.5 and Barasinga 5.6 figure were also found in the Satpura National Park. Animals whose numbers are diminishing to a level that they might face extinction are known as the endangered animals. Bojo is reminded of the dinosaurs which became extinct a long time ago. Survival of some of the animals has become difficult because of disturbances in their natural habitat. Professor Emmett tells them that in order to protect plants and animals, strict rules are imposed in all national parks. Human activities such as grazing, poaching, hunting, capturing of animals, or collection of firewood medicinal plants are not allowed. Are only big animals facing extinction? Madhavji tells Paheli that some small animals are much more in danger of becoming extinct than the bigger animals. At times, we kill snakes, frogs, lizards, bats, and owls ruthlessly without realizing their importance in the ecosystem. By killing them, we are harming ourselves. They might be small in size, but their role in the ecosystem cannot be ignored. They form part of food chains and food webs. An ecosystem is made of all plants and animals and microorganisms in an area, along with non living components such as climate, soil, river, deltas, etc. I wonder if there is any record of all endangered species. 5.9 Red Data Book. Professor Ahmed explains about Red Data Book to the children. He tells them that Red Data Book is the source book which keeps a record of all the endangered animals and plants. Red Data Book is maintained internationally by an organization. India also maintains Red Data Book of all plants and animals found in India. 5.10 Migration. The excursion party then enters deeper into the forest under the guidance of Madhavji. They sit near the Tawa Reservoir to relax for some time. Paheli observes some of the birds near the river. Madhavji tells the children that these are the migratory birds. These birds have flown here from other parts of the world. Migratory birds fly to far away areas every year during a particular time because of climatic changes. They fly for laying eggs as the weather in their natural habitat becomes very cold and inhospitable. Birds who cover long distances to reach another land are known as migratory birds. What would happen if we had no wood? Is there any alternative available to wood? I know that paper is one of the important products we get from forest. I wonder whether there are any alternatives available for paper. 5.11 Recycling of paper. Professor Ahmed draws attention of the children to another cause of deforestation. He tells them that it takes 17 full grown trees to make one ton of paper. Therefore, we should save paper. Professor Ahmed also tells that paper can be recycled 5 to 7 times for use. If each student saves at least one sheet of paper in a day, we can save many trees in a year. We should save, reuse, use paper, and recycle it. By this, we not only save trees but also save energy and water needed for manufacturing of the paper. Moreover, the amount of harmful chemicals used in paper making will also be reduced. Is there any permanent solution to the problem of deforestation? 5.12 Reforestation. Professor Ahmed suggests that the answer to deforestation is reforestation. Reforestation is restocking of the destroyed forest by planting new trees. The planted trees should generally be of the same species which were found in that forest. We should plant at least as many trees as we cut. Reforestation can take place naturally also. If the deforested area is left undisturbed, it re-establishes itself. In natural reforestation, there is no role of human beings. We have already caused tremendous damage to our forest. If we have to retain our green wealth for future generations, plantation of more trees is the only option. Professor Ahmed told them that in India we have the Forest Conservation Act. This act is aimed at preservation and conservation of natural forest and meeting the basic needs of the people living in or near the forest. After some rest, Madhavji asked the children to start heading back because it is not advisable to stay in the jungle after sunset. On getting back, Professor Ahmed and the children thank Madhavji for guiding them through the exciting experience. So, with this, we are done with the reading of chapter 5. Before we end this live, let's see the keywords that we have studied in this chapter: biodiversity, biosphere reserve, deforestation, desertification, ecosystem, endangered species, endemic species, extinct, fauna, flora, migratory birds, national park, red data book, reforestation, and sanctuary. Let's see the summary of this chapter. Wildlife Sanctuary, National Park, and Biosphere Reserve are names given to the areas meant for conservation and preservation of forest and wild animals. Biodiversity refers to the variety of living organisms in a specific area. Plants and animals of a particular area are known as the flora and fauna of that area. Endemic species are found only in a particular area. Endangered species are those which are facing the danger of extinction. Red Data Book contains a record of endangered species. Migration is the phenomenon of movement of a species from one habitat to some other habitat for a particular time period every year for a specific purpose like breeding. We should save, reuse, and recycle paper to save trees, energy, and water. Reforestation is the restocking of destroyed forests by planting new trees. With this, we are done with the reading of chapter 5, class 8 science, taken from the NCRT. I hope this was clear to everybody. It was conservation of plants and animals. So, in case you are interested in hearing such audios and getting time to time notification, you can subscribe to my channel, Online Biology Tutorials. Stay connected. See you in next video. Till then, thank you.